Tax tip of the day, we're going to talk about standard deduction and who benefits from it. So what is standard deduction? So the standard deduction is a fixed amount that reduces the taxable income of individuals and families. So it's a simplification measure that allows taxpayers to reduce the amount of income that is subject to taxation. Example, so if you're let's say you were a married individual, you're filing jointly. For 2023, the standard deduction is $27,700 if you're filing with your spouse. So that leaves you not being taxed for that initial amount of $27,700. Every dollar you make after that, you're only being taxed on that. That is a great deal of money and taxes that you can save. So instead of itemizing deductions such as your mortgage interest, medical expenses, or any charitable contributions, you can just use the standard deductions. Why? Because if, let's say you do usually itemize your medical expenses, phone bills, so forth. If it doesn't exceed the standard deduction, then you're not going to get credit for it. So just simplify it, use the standard deduction. So I will also talk about who benefits from it. So we'll talk about the different filing statuses. Now there are several situations that could vary based upon a person's, taxable income, their prior tax obligations, so much more. But I'm just going to give you some scenarios. So let's talk about a single filer. The standard deduction for an individual filing taxes that don't have any dependents is, for 2023, I think it's $13,850, and I'm going to show a chart here as I'm speaking, so if my numbers aren't correct. So if, let's say that individual is a student going to school and just working in the summer, and you've only earned $12,000. So you didn't make more than what the standard deduction is. So guess what? You do not have to file taxes. Also, you are not subject to pay any taxes on your job. So if I was a student and I know that I wasn't going to make more than what the standard deduction is, I would file exempt because you don't have to pay taxes. So as long as your income does not exceed that standard deduction as a student, you can save money from your taxes being deducted from a paycheck, and file and not have to file a tax return. Second scenario, we're going to talk about head of household. So head of household is if you are an individual that is claiming a dependent. That's the only way that you can file head of household, if you're claiming a dependent. So the standard deduction, and I'm not quite sure, you're going to see on the chart here, for head of household has also increased since 2021 and 2022 a great deal. So that helps individuals with, especially with you having a child, you're going to already get a credit for your dependent, especially if your income is within a certain bracket. And then using that standard deduction and deducting from your income, that definitely helps out quite a bit. So individual making $50,000 and they have one child, there is a cap on when we're talking about earned income, and that's another tip. But anyhow, with that standard deduction, that can reduce that taxable income, and that can help individuals who's filing head of household get that credit for their dependent. Let's talk about married filing jointly, as I stated earlier. So if there's a couple, the wife is, let's say she's a housewife, and the husband brings in the income, it would be ideal for them to file jointly. For one, the standard deduction for a married couple filing jointly is $27,700. So if that husband made $80,000 and we're reducing his tax liability by $27,700, whoa, that's going to help him out quite a bit. Now, if there's in another situation, if the wife was working and the husband was working, it all depends on, like I said, there's a number of things that may vary. It may be ideal for them to file separately. So speak with your tax professional and see what would be beneficial for you as far as your filing status, and to get more tips as what we're providing today. If this helped you or you need more information, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you.